What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rear Naked Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie Kilstein.
And I am, for today, your other host, Drew Weatherhead. We got some news happening today, guys.
Guys, when you thought it couldn't get worse and you saw my Instagram and you're like, oh, Jamie's sick. It can't get worse than that. And then you saw the news and you're like, oh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. By the way, one of our pathogens wrote me this morning. I forgot we literally made a joke about her last week.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
About her being crucified or something.
To be honest, and this is a fully Canadian thing. This has nothing to do with anything going on right now. I don't even really know who she is.
She's the Supreme Court justice.
I don't know anybody below the president in another country.
That's right. I feel like Canada just needs to know, who's the one that can bomb us? Who's the one? The game show guy?
Right.
Great. So she died. Yeah. So one of our pathogens wrote and was like, love the episode. Thanks for talking about mental health stuff. I laughed very hard and again, Drew and I black out. He goes, I laughed very hard at the Ruth Bader Ginsburg crucifixion joke. And then he goes, well, that didn't age well. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember.
So just real quick, the game show guy's still alive.
Game show guy's still kicking.
Okay.
And then one of the good ones is gone. He's dead now. One of the few remaining decent Americans is dead.
This is a very depressing game show.
Which, by the way, you got to pay attention to the pawns and the queens and stuff like that. That's just one more barrier from the game show guy bombing you guys.
Oh, shit. I'm not good at chess either. This is not looking good for Drew.
That's all I knew. I had a girlfriend once teach me chess. I was like, this is going to be our thing. I beat her once, and she stopped playing chess with me. And I was like, well, did you just want to do it so you could beat me at things?
That's like when you got your talks big friends that you finally talk into grappling, and you do the lawn grapple with them, and they get real mad when you choke them real fast and never want to do it again.
So mad. That happened to one of my brothers, and I will never forget that there were guys being hired to mow the lawn across the street, and they were just like, oh, pointing at us, what the fuck is happening? We're killing the audience right now, by the way, which I'm sort of doing on purpose. So yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dead. I'm incredibly sick. How could this get any sadder? Take it away, Drew.
Yeah. So, well, look, this is, it's going to be sad for the podcast for a bit, but it's all good stuff that's happening and is going to happen. So
yeah,
I'm going to be stepping away from the podcast as a co-host. Jamie is going to be taking the ship
and turning it into a chess podcast.
As it turns out, guys, and this was always a concern of mine as we were opening the gym back up after quarantine had been lifted here in Alberta, is am I going to have any business left at the gym? Is everybody going to leave? Is nobody going to come back? Is everything going to flounder? And coincidentally, happily, the exact opposite has happened. And I've got booming business right now, which is taking up a lot of my time. I've got a lot.
I was Drew's little side piece until his wife came back.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of business shit going on right now that's taking up a lot of time, and that's all well and good. And I would love to keep doing that with the podcast, but what it's doing between the two of them is taking away from my family time a lot. And it's not just the podcast; it's the work too. And I've got to start prioritizing, the little kiddos who don't see daddy very often.
I can't argue with that. That's such a fucking shitty thing that you could be making that up.
I've never had kids. You've never met them.
And I'm just like, oh, you're such a good dad. You were so funny. You didn't mean to be funny. It actually probably put you in a really hard spot. So I feel for you. But looking back on it, it was kind of perfect. Where you were like, hey, good to record, man. And I'm like, I was so sick. I can barely move. I haven't been this sick in so long. And then you didn't text for a while. And I realized it's because you were typing this very long, thoughtful message. And then I just get a message like, well, there's not going to be any good time to say this. And I was like, oh, no, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. But in a weird way, because of all of the bullshit I've been preaching on my Instagram about being positive and blah, blah, blah. In a weird way, it kind of did come at I would almost rather it happen then than when I'm like, everything's great with my best friend, Drew, podcast. And then you're like, hey, man. But instead.
I know you're rock bottom, so I'm pretty sure you can't get lower. So here it comes.
I was literally throwing up from the headache. And then I got this and I was just like, yep. All right. Yeah. I mean, my biggest fear, and Drew already gave it away. I was gonna do a bit about like, should I keep the podcast going and torture our pathogens? The Once I realized I could still do the podcast and I'd still have the pathogens and Origin is still going to be on board, it got a little like, and Drew and I are going to be friends. I mean, there was definitely a message where I sent, I was like, we're good, right?
Yeah, this is strictly a business thing. This is like a time management thing from my side, you know.
Well, I guess I'm going to stop calling myself your sixth child, which I have been doing.
You have to cancel that Instagram account.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you this? That one time as a joke, and I was gonna do it, and then I was just like, I'm not one of those people. But the second you started Reverse Kimura, I have the Instagram handle Reverse Kimura Counters. That would be such a funny podcast bit, but then I was like, this is his business. I cannot do this.
That's
for real.
Funny. You're actually, there was another friend I had that did basically the same thing, and he got reverse Kimura.
Hilarious.
He's gonna put out the counter series.
God, jiu-jitsu people are such fucking assholes. So a couple of things. So with Drew, I'm not gonna make eye contact while I say this. I'm like super proud of you because I was thinking about this. I mean, one, it was like a ballsy decision just to bail for like your family, like especially in jiu-jitsu, like lots of people don't do that. You know what I mean? Like how many times do you go to the gym and like the guys train and they're like, oh, thank fucking God I'm away from the wife and kids. And you're like, you should get a divorce, fella. That's not good. And so I think it's awesome, the reason you're stepping away. And like I said, I support the shit out of it, as scared as I was and bummed out as I was, because I love talking to you. But also, in reflecting, I remember when we first started and you were like, God, I hope this was on air and not something you told me in confidence, but you were like, not nervous, but like a little unsure about how you would be as like, you're a writer. I mean, you were a comedy writer before this. You know, I know you've done podcasts and you've done interviews and shit like that, but like you're getting thrown into like an hour-long improvised insane podcast with someone who's been podcasting for 20 years. Like you crushed it. Like it's fucking awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't think I could have done it without another co-host, though. You know what I mean? Like
Keep
you
going.
Definitely, yeah. Let's lay some gravy on the Jamie side now.
Come on, I'm pretty sad about everything.
Yeah. No, it was, dude. I'm gonna have like positive memories from our podcast, not just the guests, which we killed it with guests, but just like weekly. We did weekly, you and me, for like 10 months.
Yeah, and I am gonna cry. Our favorite episodes were the solo ones. We always called each other after the solo ones, and we were like, or like we would text each other, and we'd be like, "Fuck guests, man! Like we're really good." Like those were some of the easiest free-forming episodes, because I've been thinking about like, what do I want to do? And I think what I'm going to do for a while, I have an idea for my first episode back that I'm only going to tell you. That's so good.
Nice.
So good. So it'll be next week. Expect many guests and chaos. The reign of Jamie is like coming in hot.
I've released a terror.
Literally, I was like, oh, fucking suicide-y McPanic face is steering the wheel now. Like I'm in charge. Like Rick's in charge. Morty's dead.
No.
It's just fucking me now, baby. Yeah, you guys are in for. Oh, by the way, too, can I also say, Drew has been on the right side, and I complimented you for being incredibly brave on a meme page where you didn't have to, about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and whatever. I've still been holding back because I know you're a business guy in the jiu-jitsu world, and so like, you know, you don't want people fucking mad, big names mad at you. I'm gonna call out everyone who's fucking racist. Done. I'm like, every time Gordon Ryan comes up, I go, I respectfully disagree. That was trash. He's fucking trash. Never coming on this fucking show. Yeah, I mean, the good thing, guys, is I deal with adversity I level up. So I'm really it's just gonna be me. So I'm gonna be working very, very hard to make the show it's not going to be better. It'll never be the same. But I'm like, I got to step it up. Because Drew, you can't be replaced with just like, hey, here's another fucking Canadian. So it's like if
There's only so many of us, too.
I know.
And we don't all have the internet.
Well, and a lot of them are competing at Pans and will be dead soon. So I wiped out my options. See, I'm not pulling punches. So if I'm not gonna have like a regular Drew, I have to step up everything else. Is kind of how I'm thinking about it.
You have to get an irregular Jamie.
I have to get an irregular Jamie. So I have like this is my list I wrote in like a panic. It's very long. Of I think we're just gonna do like co-hosts for a while. Definitely not like a permanent thing. And then, write in. Tell me what you want. I'll be in charge of that Instagram now, so you can message it, and that'll be the show. And then I'm telling you, Drew, you will want to listen next week.
I'm gonna.
Maybe I don't want to tell you. It's really good. It's really funny. With big names. But yeah, I was thinking about, so when I was going through this panic list of like, who can I have co-host? I was just thinking about everyone we've interviewed and just how fucking, do you remember when Jeff Glover put us through a metal detector?
Yeah. You remember when Eddie Bravo like was trying to avoid the cops or maybe the feds in his car by his kid's soccer game?
Circles, telling old Joe Rogan stories. I have, what the fuck else happened?
Well, how about that time that Russell Peters introduced us to Chuck Liddell, who just happened to be coming over for sparring while we were podcasting?
And I made Chuck Liddell walk away. And then the Master Chem one we were just talking about will always be one of my fucking favorites. I mean, there was our first interview with like Kenny and Huron. And yeah, dude, like we did everything we said we were gonna do.
Yeah, like beyond. I feel like we've gotten up on that liftoff of the plane where we're nice over the clouds and coasting, can see the sun, and I decided to like just grab a parachute and be like, well,
yep. And now I'm just gonna start steering it into buildings recklessly. Guys, you don't understand. Drew always was like supportive of me. Like he would tell me, he's like, I want you to rant, go off, like blah blah blah. But it was just my love of Drew that I was like, I can't. I will drive you out of the business. Now nothing is holding me back. You guys, I have nothing. I have nothing to lose. I'm a man who's lost everything. The show's going to be bananas. Guys, send me your shit. If someone said some bullshit, send it to me. I'm putting everyone on fucking blast. I also really want to... I'm gonna have Drew. I'm gonna have you promote everything, so I'm not just like stealing this shit. But I don't want people to stop listening either. Send me bullshit people say. That'll be the kind of, we'll frame it in a positive way. I still want this to be a positive, loving show. Number one, sending questions, obviously, but sending guest host ideas, because I also want to use this as an opportunity to spotlight more diverse guests. Drew and I'll say this, because we never really talked about it on the record. Our goal was to really just have like huge names, just to be like, fuck you, everybody, look who we got. And I still want to do that for the interviews. But if I'm going to have like co-hosts, like swoop in and out, I think that could also be a really cool time to highlight new voices, especially diverse, not like white dude voices. So send in ideas for that. People who are like charismatic and cool, maybe don't have the biggest following, they can co-host, and then we'll still be interviewing the big guns as well.
Sweet. Do you want me to? I'm gonna selfishly promote my own shit that's going to be going down. So
no, it's not selfish at all. I mean, I'm going to be undercutting it every week on the show. There's going to be 2 ads now. There's going to be the ad for Origin, and then there's going to be my resentful anti-Drew ad. Can you imagine if I just gave bitter with like my arms crossed, like Drew put up a new meme today. I didn't comment. Yes, please. There will never be another this. Even if Drew and I, even if this did end shitty, even if we got into some dumb fight and you had to go or I had to go, it's like this will always be the first, like this is the thing, you know, like this is the thing that started what will continue to grow and be huge. So like it will never be rear naked. Like you will always be family, and I know the pathogens will always support you despite my best efforts. So yes, promote everything that they can do.
All right, so before Jamie gets the wheel indefinitely, this is my last shot.
Guys, steering it fucking right into the mountain. I'm staring at the mountain and I'm visualizing me steering a plane, just screaming Gordon Ryan is a racist as the plane fucking pummels into the ground.
So I'm taking my focus back to just really jujitsu shit. So obviously I'm still gonna be doing because jitsu, the memes are still being put out daily, all the lols, all the fun. But I'm focusing really heavily on my own instructionals as well as my own gym, and kind of both at the same time. So I've got obviously the 2 reverse Kimura series that have come out so far. I've got a guard retention series that's dropping in 6 days. 6 days, guys. So you're gonna be able, like, later this week when you're listening to this, you're like, oh shit, that thing's available. It's gonna be available Friday.
Use promo code Jamie's Broken Heart for 5% off.
For 10% on.
10% on, and your shipping's doubled.
And besides that, we've got a companion series that's going to come out in October next month. That's going to be a passing series. So you're going to get to learn how to retain your guard first, and then how to pass your partner's bullshit guard after that.
Love that. That, by the way, is the best way when I teach. Like if I teach like one move, I'll also teach the counter, and then I'll have them spar trying to get that one move or that one counter. So that's actually really
cool. Well, this is what every student always asks, right? Is like, well, that works great if I'm the one in the mount, but what happens if I'm the one under the mount? You know,
right.
They always want to know. There's always 2 sides to the same coin because it's a 2-player game. So we're gonna
quit
both sides.
You just
quit. Yeah, well, you get your blue belt first. This is the way.
then you
quit. And then we'll be starting the next double series after that, which I'm not going to tease just yet, but we will get this 5 full series before the end of the year. So that's a big focus on mine. Not to mention, I am actually recording every single technique that I teach in class right now. And so by January 1st, I'm going to have between 500 and 600 technique videos coming into the next year that I'm going to be putting into a member site for people who want to learn daily through me.
That's awesome. Promote the gym for our fucking Canadians. I know.
No, they're not allowed.
Came and found you.
Yeah. We've got, look, if you are local and you want to start training jiu-jitsu, or if you know jiu-jitsu and want to train more, we've got lots of spots every day of the week, and a few spots left for adults, few spots left for kids. We're being very sticky about who joins right now because of all the sickos around, literally sick people.
That was me trying to get people to show up to your gym so that they would spread COVID and the gym would shut down and you'd come back to the show.
We're going to get them tested in every way, shape, or form. Make sure we know if they have AIDS. Make sure if we know if they have.
You can fucking tell. You can fucking tell.
Okay.
I have a quick question for the pathogens. By the way, I wrote down on my list pathogen cucks. I'm like, now that Drew's gone, I can call you guys pathogen cucks. So that's very exciting. I'm trying to, guys, lemonade out of lemons. Do you guys, be honest, it doesn't have to be a lot, but when you said jiu-jitsu focus, this was something I thought about. Do you guys want me to talk about MMA more? Because I had a bunch of pathogens. I think Renato actually DM'd me and was like, you gonna talk about this shit? When like it was like Colby, Dana, Henry, Cejudo, and fucking Justin Gaethje. That one broke my heart, but I'm like, he's dumb. We're meeting with Trump. So do you, and then obviously what's happening, like, I mean, it will be over by the time you see this, but with like Woodley and Colby, or just like not even political shit, but technique stuff. Like, are you guys also MMA fans to the point where you would like me to cover it more? Because I also train Muay Thai and MMA and stuff like that. Or just like a little bit, like if a pay-per-view is coming up or you want to recap a pay-per-view, talk about it a little bit, because I probably have more like UFC friends. I don't know. I mean, I guess I have more jiu-jitsu. I don't know. But like even like last week's Bellator, Leslie Smith and Kat Zingano are both fans of mine or friends of mine. So like covering Bellator, and like, you know, Drew and I had John and Martin from One on. So tell me if you guys want more of that shit too. This is kind of a chance to like add. That's how it.
That reminds me of one of my favorite episodes we did was Greg Jackson. What a
Oh
fucking awesome episode that
my
was.
God, you remember when his dog just like got on his fucking lap at the end?
That's all you remember is the dog. Guys, do you want more MMA or do you want more dogs?
Do you guys want more dogs? Although one of my one of the girls who's I want to try to get a lot of women co-hosts. And if I was more of a dude, I'd be like to replace Drew because he's a lady. Actually,
so far you're saying that you want more women and less white guys. So everything you said is less Drews.
Yeah, just no Canadians would be because I have a broken heart. It's like if a blonde breaks your heart, maybe you want to try like a redhead. Brooke the bully.
Oh yeah. She's from the East
Nick
Coast,
Diaz, right? No, Nick Diaz Academy.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different bully. There's too many.
Stockton,
bullies.
son. She's awesome, and we DM a lot about her bunny rabbit, and she was like, "I'll bring my bunny," and I was like, "Yep." So yeah, there's gonna be more animals on the show.
So if you want on the show, guys, just bring your pet. Tell Jamie you're bringing your pet.
That's all you have to do. And so yeah. So I mean, here's life advice in general. Life advice is like, this is an example of exactly what I talked about on my Instagram the other day, which thank you for everyone who reached out, the depression one, where it's like when a shitty thing happens, and this isn't shitty like Drew did something shitty, like I will miss hosting a show with one of my best friends every week. So it's like a bummer, right? And it was like scary. Like it was very scary, like financially, and like what am I gonna do? Do I have time to do it all myself? Like there was a lot of shit. But it's one of those things where it's exactly what I've been preaching, which is when something shitty happens, I don't settle for, okay, things are going to stay the same, because it's not the same. It's going to be a little shittier. So the way that I get through it is I'm like, things have to be better. You know, it was like when I broke up and lost Talib in the beginning of the year, or quarantine single. I'm like, I'm coming out of this more successful, or else what's the fucking point of all this fucking suffering I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And so same with the podcast, where it's like, okay, well, this sucks. It's going to be harder. It's not going to be as fun with Drew. How can I make it 10 times better? Like better for me, or different, you know? How can it evolve,
yeah
evolve. And so I'm totally open for suggestions as well. I mean, I'm only going to do what I want to do, but I love hearing from this is another thing, Drew, that you get credit for. Our fans, I can always tell when it's a Rear Naked Radio fan when they write, because they are so sweet, a little long-winded, but intelligent.
Yeah.
Like we have a bunch of like really fucking sweet guys. Like we have a lot of awesome women who listen to the show, but I'm saying guys specifically because in the jiu-jitsu, in the MMA community, there's a lot of shithead guys. There's a lot of just, you know, we've talked about it, bullshit, sexism, racism, homophobia, blah, 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 blah. And the guys that we have are not only badass jiu-jitsu fighters, but they're just fucking really thoughtful. And a lot of them have like opened up about mental health, and it's really fucking cool. So like that was me and you, man. Like me and you like sort of curated an audience of non-fighter douchebags.
I just try to use $10 words as much as I can, and then so the people that don't understand them, they just tune out.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's really smart. That's a nefarious tactic.
I learned that from Danaher, that you used words like fundamentally and situational and levers and pulleys and wedges.
Did you catch my fucking joke?
No,
I said that's a nefarious tactic.
Well,
also, by the way, those words are clearly not big enough, since John Danaher has a squad of douchebags who are dumb. So who don't know smart things.
They just watch John and they go, got it, choke, squeeze.
Yeah, attack. yeah, attack. That's why Gordon hates homeless people. It's not that he's like a terrible human being with zero compassion. He's just in that attack mode where he's like, attack, and like they're like, no, Gordon. Like, attack. Oh, he's chasing a squirrel. You guys,
Hey, I got a question. I'm actually really curious. One guest that we tried to get for a while, and I think you'll still get because of our sponsor, is Jocko Willink. Now,
Yeah.
when Jocko definitely comes on this podcast
Yes.
in the future, maybe not even the distant future, maybe before the election, that would be pretty sweet.
Yes.
And he starts saying things like, he's not a big fan of either candidate, but mostly he just wants somebody who's going to allow him to go kill more terrorists.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I want you to expand your political views on terrorist killing outside of left or right politics.
Well, first of all, I do have to say that reminded me of something that I didn't tell you is when I was in San Diego, I was like, I should try to interview Jocko. And I was like, and I literally told Brian, I thought about it. And Brian's like, I think we can make it work. Let me what do you want me to pitch to him? And then I go, no, you know what? Drew will be really sad if I do Jocko by myself. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait. But now.
So now you're going to drive to San Diego.
I'm going to get Jocko, and all of my questions are going to be like, why is Drew bad? It's going to be like, who's Drew? I'm like, just riff. Just riff on why Drew
is
bad.
Very strange. I thought you wanted to talk to me about interesting things. Who's this?
Oh, it's interesting if you knew.
Was Drew your girlfriend?
Drew, of sorts. This also reminded me. So I've become Instagram friends with Tulsi Gabbard, and
yeah, she kills terrorists, right?
He kills terrorists, 100%. And we've talked a lot. And
good.
She's tied into MMA as well, and
also good.
So she, for like last year, because we've been like Twitter buddies for a while. She just started following me on Instagram, and I'm noticing that like most of her likes are like MMA shit, which is awesome. And so she was supposed to do my podcast, especially when it was more political. But you guys, she is on my list of what if I just have her co-host this podcast?
Oh shit!
And we don't talk about politics.
Nice.
Like that could be really fucking fun.
She's not white. She's not male. She's not Canadian. She's not. What else is?
And
she's not.
And
she doesn't hang her black belt like a douchebag behind her.
Dude, I debated. I'm like, do I change the name of this to Brown Belt Radio and just like own the shit out of it?
Forever Brown Belt.
That's actually how I describe myself. Okay, so Jocko, I feel like you should take this home, man. I feel like this ad.
Last chance, eh?
This is yeah.
Look, I'm gonna finish it the way that we started doing the ads, and we should make a super montage of all of the amazing ads that we've done because we've killed it. We've done our best work, I think, in the ads.
Should do that,
but
we've actually toned them down
a little bit,
and I don't know why. Because as you said, best work, I was like, wasn't there one where like there was like a dead deer talking, or like
it was a moose? Like, you're right. Yeah,
there's something about that, and like. There were so many ones that got guys. I'll make them weirder. I vow to you. Although now I really can't lose this sponsor.
The way that we started doing the ads, so was really introducing who Origin was. So we've got a ton of new listeners since that first episode. Yeah. So to get you onto the same page, Origin is a U.S. owned, U.S. operated. Total package when it comes to American apparel, supplements, but specifically for us jiu-jitsu heads, gis. They make amazing gis that are not only made in the U.S., the only ones in the world made in the U.S. The cotton that they source is U.S. cotton. The labor that they use is U.S. labor. They bring their own machinery in, fix it up from old textile companies in the U.S. and sort of try to build that character and that spirit of DIY and the American dream into everything that they do. So like, especially in times right now where the economy has never been shittier and everybody's trying to make ends meet, they're actually flourishing because of their drive, their American spirit, really, to keep their products going, to expand them. They're like,
they are expanding. I mean, yesterday Pete was posting some fucking bullshit about like some new line that they're doing, and not in like a gross. Here's the thing, because anyone who knows about I'm gonna get political, American free market capitalism is a lot of times when there is expansion during a disaster, it's from these evil ass corporations, these like Monty Burns types that use what has been called by Naomi Klein the shock doctrine or disaster capitalism, and they'll use that to be like, hey, how do we fuck over poor people more? How do we profit off of people drowning in Katrina? How do we profit off of 9/11? How do we, I'm really like disgusting.
That's definitely
shit.
not what's going on here.
It's the opposite, where they're just like, how do we
grassroots.
How do we get people jobs? How do we get people masks
exactly.
when people needed masks?
And
how
they
do
did.
how do we expand industry in America? Like, it's not this like, get out of here, foreigners, America. It's the exact fucking opposite.
So
and
if
that's why the company is so cool.
If that speaks to your personal beliefs, why you might want to support them, great. But if you're just a selfish motherfucker like me that just wants the best gear,
just want a good gi.
They not only make proprietary weaves for all you gi heads out there that you can't get anywhere else, but even the thread that they use, nobody else uses this type of thread. They built their own thread that is octagonal instead of cylindrical, that fits better into the next thread beside it, making it naturally water wicking. It doesn't hold sweat.
Oh, we just lost a bunch of Danaher people. Do I need to learn more technical stuff like that if I'm going to be hosting the podcast by myself?
I mean, you didn't know it already?
No.
I guess you do.
I would throw to you for that shit. Oh, I can have Keenan on to talk about gi shit. That'll be fine. Yeah. Anyway, guys, originmain.com, use promo code rearnaked, you'll get 10% off. Thank you to everybody. The pathogens are good at like half doing what we asked them to do. It's almost like they want to keep us on our toes, where they won't post about it on Instagram publicly, but they'll like send me pictures of their receipts with like all their personal information on it. And I'm like, I can't post this. You
want me to dox you.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. You don't want me to post that. Although I think the pathogens would just be really lovely and not do anything. So anyway, short episode because my head is pounding. Drew has to go be a dad and my heart is broken. But yeah, so check out all of Drew's stuff, obviously, because _ jiu-jitsu. And then
jitsu.
The personal
no Jew.
Oh, jitsu. So, no
Whoa,
Jew.
That was almost a stab at you. I'm so sorry.
We found out why you're really leaving. Drew finally found out I was Jewish when I wished him a happy New Year.
So no Canadians, no white guys, no Nazis. What else am I?
Oh my God. I have to make a plug. I am
for Nazis. That's what brought it back.
Yeah, to the Nazis. I am recording my first album in 8 years. My first stand-up album. And the recording is happening in 2 weeks. So like, I have 40 minutes of stuff that I've been working this year. That's like solid A+ material. And it's stuff I've never talked about. Like, if you've seen the clips I've posted on Instagram, it's like a lot of like being alone and trying to like, it's not political. There is political stuff too. But then I also kind of we're doing the show at like this underground venue, where the motto of the venue is no cops.
Whoa.
It just seems like a very 2020 place to record, right?
It sounds kind of Mad Max, actually. You gotta be careful in those areas.
Like, dude, it's like in an alley but it sounds really cool. Like, they've been doing like underground shows there. And I thought that would be more appropriate to record an album during COVID, like at an underground place than like a strip mall comedy club or whatever.
It has a historic bent to it.
That's what I'm going for. And I think I'm going to name the album like 25% capacity or some shit like that. But I'm like, I kind of want to make the album like a full hour. So I was thinking about writing stuff about, everything I've been going through now, whether it's like depression, whether I'm like, do I like bring my guitar? Like, I'm probably going to have at least 15 minutes of like stuff that I've literally never done before. That is going to be on an album. The tickets are very limited because it's a small space. I'm doing it in Denver. I haven't been in Denver in like a decade. And it's October 3rd. I posted the link on my stories, which will be gone. I mean, I'll be posting it forever, but there's a thing on my on my feed on my Instagram. It is, what is it called? Fake House Events. Well, this is a trap. Denver, Colorado. On Calumet Street, 8 p.m. Underground album taping, October 3rd. I know a lot of people are driving. They're gonna like drive a couple hours. Someone's flying in from Seattle.
Wow.
So like this is, if you have been a fan of my career, this is definitely like a historic thing that's happening. Usually,
Please wear a mask if you're flying in. We don't need Jamie sick.
we do not need Jamie
more
sick. This is all we have, guys. There's no other host anymore. It's only me. And the although my manager is gonna be able to do social media stuff now. I was like, I'm not letting you fucking touch me and Drew's money, but now I'm like, I don't know what to do. So we'll probably actually have more video clips and shit like that for you guys to share and stuff like that, which is cool. The Denver thing. Yeah, so come. Make a trip out of it. Tell your gym buddies. Tell people who train in Denver. I don't even know if I have fans in Denver, but it just seemed, I don't know. It just feels right.
You about to, and none of them are going to be cops.
Yeah. That is true. We're all in danger, you guys. I'm pretty much just gave an announcement of a place to rob that's safe. Like, hey, we're all, no one's here to defend us. Come get us. So but what I was going to say is usually people, they'll tape a string of shows and edit it together for an album. So they'll do the same material for like 6 shows or whatever. I'm pretty much, I'm doing it in one.
Hey, who was the one who did that one take? Who is that? There was a comedian that did one in one take at the Comedy Store, I want to say, or maybe it was the Ice House.
I don't know.
He and like at the beginning of it, he was like texting on his phone. Then he actually does like the walkout, and Joey Diaz brings him up, and he does his whole set, and then he walks off, and the camera follows him all the way back. And he has a cigarette. And...
It was well,
skinny dude.
I know it wasn't Brendan Schaub because you said comedian. The Reign of Jamie. I don't give a fuck. I guess he's not coming on the show. I met him once. He was lovely. It was fine.
You got a mic to drop every time you do that. You can literally just drop mics.
But take a sec. You have to mail me your podcast mic since you're not going to use it, and I'm gonna just so I can throw it on the ground angrily. By the way, you should come on as like a guest when you have shit to promote.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like that would be fun.
That'll be like a nice little throwback, and we can.
Yeah.
I can ask all the horrible things you've said about me, and maybe like be like, Jamie, I thought we were friends, buddy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine if you come back on the show and it's just like a tense, like I heard you said this, and I'm like, I have to explain that it was a joke.
I've been taking notes, Jamie. Here they are, out of context and quotations.
Oh my God, out of context and quotations. So funny. All right, buddy. Well, I love you a lot. This is stupid. I hate your kids. bet you didn't see that coming. I didn't until now. I was like, who took him from me? Wow.
Here it comes. I'm starting to take notes already.
Because those are anime. Yeah.
I hate your kids.
I'm just gonna begrudgingly watch them grow up and be like, I'm gonna ruin you. I'm gonna wait till the time is right.
I'm going to ruin you.
Did you see fucking? Oh yeah, that's not even out of context. That's in context. Did you see fucking Eli Knight's what he wrote today? I'm so emotional today because of this podcast.
Oh, my kids.
No, about his daughter.
Yes, I did see that.
Sobbed. I sobbed reading it.
It had 10 slides to go through too. So
it had 10 slides, and it was just like, he's a beautiful writer.
Oh,
It was really. I texted him, dude. I cried. I commented that I cried. Then I texted him and literally said something. This is how my day has been, where I was like, "You're such a good man, and I'm lucky to have you in my life." Like I was co-parenting the daughter with him. Like I wrote a message that like the mother should have written. Like it was insane. But I think
I know who your next co-host is. He even looks like me. This is bullshit. He's the American Drew with like God. 2 stripes on his black belt. Fuck!
Oh, that's what I do. That's amazing. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm just gonna call him Drew.
I'm going to add that to the list of slights.
It's going to be like the weird Jocko thing. I'm going to be like, hey, remember that bit we did? And he's like, no, I'm Eli. And I'm like, shut up, Drew. That's a funny joke.
You remember.
Because you're Drew and you didn't leave me. All right, bud. This is stupid. I hate it. Guys, please listen next week. Can you imagine if everyone was here for you?
No.
That would be a real bummer.
It'd be a sick show, though. You better record it.
Oh my God, just me losing my mind.
You
Yeah,
better
I
be in
think
your underwear too, with like macaroni stains on your chest or something.
100%. I thought about this the other day with the macaroni things, where I'm like, it is such a fuck you to me that I look the best in white shirts and I eat like a child. It's like
That's the sickest joke God's ever played.
out of anything. No offense, Ruth. R.I.P. God, 2020. All right, we love you guys. Any final? Ooh, how about a final like jujitsu? We don't have to make it all about me being sad. How about a final jujitsu? Like for the youngins.
You know what?
Message.
I'm gonna take it an interesting full circle where I'm going to quote one of our jujitsu guests, and it's something that I quoted to one of my students last night because it's so profound, and this is definitely something I'm taking away from the podcast.
Was it Jeff Glover saying, "Hold on, bro," and then clunk, 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 clunk?
No, it was actually Eddie Bravo when he was talking about chemtrails and you know, the flat Earth. Besides those amazing points, it was Boogie Martinez, who we had on a while ago in season 1.
Yeah.
And he was talking about there is no low percentage technique. Every technique works when it's done in the right time. And even the highest percentage techniques don't work when they're done in the wrong time. Yeah. So if you're having troubles with a move or a set of moves or a technique, you just need to start understanding how and when to use it, because it will work. It works for everybody who uses it right at the right time.
Awesome. I love that. In true Canadian form, I gave you the opportunity to say something yourself, and you're like, to quote someone else. All right, pal. I've said I love you too many times, but I love you. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
For a fucking shit show.
Woo!